Let's start with tariffs. Putting together all the recent tariff increases, pauses, escalations, and exemptions, it seems clear that the US effective tariff rate has jumped to levels last seen several lifetimes ago, and other countries have responded. And then there are the spillovers. As the giants face off, smaller countries are caught in the cross currents. China, the EU, and the United States, despite having relatively low imports to GDP, are the world's 3 largest importers. Key implications? Size matters. Their actions impact the rest of the world. Smaller advanced economies and most emerging markets rely more on trade for their growth and are thus more exposed, including to tighter financial conditions. Low-income countries face the added challenge of collapsing aid flows as donor countries pivot to dealing with domestic concerns. What will be the impact of these tensions? Let me offer 3 observations. First, uncertainty is costly. The complexity of modern supply chains means imported inputs feed into a broad range of domestic products. The cost of one item can be affected by tariffs in dozens of countries. In a world of bilateral tariff rates, each of which may be moving up or down, planning becomes difficult. The result? Ships at sea not knowing which port to sail to. Investment and consumer decisions postponed. Financial markets volatile, precautionary savings up. The longer uncertainty persists, the larger the cost. Second, rising trade barriers hit growth upfront. Tariffs like taxes raise revenue at the expense of reducing and shifting activity, and evidence from the past episodes suggests higher tariff rates are not paid by the trading partners alone. Importers pay some part through lower profits, and consumers pay some part through higher prices. By raising the cost of imported inputs, tariffs act upfront. Of course, if domestic markets are large, they also create incentive for foreign firms to respond with inward investment, bringing in new activities, new jobs. But this takes time. Third observation, protectionism erodes productivity over the long run, especially in smaller countries. Shielding industries from competition reduces incentives for efficient resource allocation. Past productivity and competitiveness gains from trade erode. Entrepreneurship gives way to special pleadings for exemptions, protection, and state support. This hurts innovation. But again, if domestic markets are large and domestic competition is vibrant, negative effects can be mitigated. Ultimately, trade is like water. When countries put an obstacle in the form of tariff and non-tariff barriers, the flow diverts. Some sectors in some countries may be flooded by cheap imports. Others may see shortages. Trade goes on, but disruptions incur costs. We will quantify this cost in our new World Economic Outlook to be released next week. In it, and I see our chief economist right here, he would make the presentation. In it, our new growth projections will include notable markdowns, but not recession. We will also see markups to the inflation forecasts for some countries. We will caution that protracted high uncertainty raises the risk of financial market stress. Earlier this month, we saw unusual movements in some key bond and currency markets. Here we see how, despite elevated uncertainty, the dollar depreciated and US Treasury yields the curves of US Treasury smiled. Not the sort of smile one wants to see. Such movements should be taken as a warning. Everyone suffers if financial conditions worsen. Conversely, our World Economic Outlook will also show that determined policy action to resolve differences and rebalance can deliver better outcomes. This is what I want to address in the last part of my presentation. What can countries do? A lot, and then some more. First, all countries must redouble efforts to put their own houses in order. In a world of higher uncertainty and frequent shocks, there is simply no room for delay in reforms to enhance economic and financial stability and improve growth potential. Economies face the new challenges from a weaker starting point, with public debt burdens that are much higher than just a few years ago.